and walk through this. Let's pray together. Our God and our Father, we thank you for the chance to be together. We thank you for the chance to connect and to discover some more things about how to be the best clubs that we can be. I pray for each leader that's here on the Zoom meeting tonight. Pray that you'll guide our time together. Pray that you'll bless us as we work together and as we work with you to help move club ministries forward here in Florida. We thank you for all these things in the name of Jesus. Amen. All right, very good. So let me jump in here on the screen and get you the content. So part of the big thing that we want to do tonight is help you be ready for the Club of the Year deadline. And part of that Club of the Year deadline is to get your calendar ready. So that's a big part of it. And I want to walk through this with you. I'm going to share my screen with you. So we can all kind of be on the same page. So I'm going to pull up a YMMS screen, and you can see that I have the screen up. I'm signed in as Evelyn. So Evelyn's one of our club directors, and the big deadline coming up, October 1, is for calendar. And if you go to your Club of the Year document, and I'll pull that up here in a little bit as well, you'll see all kinds of things that you need to do. So the biggest thing for calendar is to come to your tab that says secretary. This is a club secretary, and you come to your tab secretary, you click on it, and you go down to calendar. Calendar. When you click on calendar, it opens a new screen, and you should be able to see this. By default, it goes to January, but it also by default goes to the current month that we're in. If you wanted to search a certain month, you could. You can move it forward there. You also see arrows here on this side and arrows on the other side. And when you click on them, they also light up. What I'd like to make sure everybody sees tonight is how to add items to the calendar in YMMS. So again, we logged into YMMS. We went into Secretary tab, down to Calendar tab, and then it opens up this window. Entering details in the calendar is fairly simple and fairly straightforward. You'll notice I'm on the 7th. It's blue, it's black, and then it's red. And the difference is when my mouse hovers over the number changes colors. When it changes colors, all I have to do is click on the number. So I go to the date that I want. I put my mouse over the number of that date. I click on it, and it opens this page. This is where I'll put the title in. So whatever it is that I'm doing, I put it there. This piece is very important. This is the pre-selected list of items, and these are Club of the Year items that you need to tag your dates as. This is what the secretaries will pull up and look at to be able to manage things. So if it's an Adventure Sabbath or if it's a club meeting, you'll want to make sure you tag it for whatever it is. And these are all Club of the Year requirement events. So tag it for the right way. Make sure you put the date for when it is. You choose the time, you choose the duration, and you choose the end. And you can add as many details as you want. And YMMS also has a feature where if you click here, it tells you, you can send yourself a reminder. You put in the email address, you put the date that you want it sent, and what the text is. Once you've completed all of this stuff for each activity, you would click save. And once you save, it would appear here on your calendar. So let's try it. I'm going to go back to the 7th. I put my mouse over the 7. It pulls up a new box. The new box, I'm going to put in practice. We're going to actually do this real quick. Practice. Select the activity. We're going to put baptism. I do know we don't practice baptism normally. I understand that. This is just for practice. I'm going to put that it happens on the 7th. And I'm going to put that it happens at 11 a.m. and that it's over by 12 p.m. And this is baptism. And Pedro is going to get baptized. And in the description, I'll just leave that like that. I don't want to email for it, so I'll do that. I'll hit save. And now there was nothing before on the 7th, but now you see there is something on the 7th. And this is practice for the Brandon Club. and it tells me that now as a placeholder. Now, if I did something wrong, if I want to delete it or get rid of it, I come back to the event. And once again, when you hover over it, the event I just added in the calendar, I click, it comes back here. I have the chance to change, so I can edit, I can delete it, or I can go back to where I was. Because we're just experimenting, I'm going to click delete. And notice that on the 7th, there's nothing that appears. So that's what you do. You'll come to your YMMS account. When you get there, this will be your login page. This is your home button. You'll come over to Secretary. You'll click on Secretary. Under Secretary's Calendar. Under Calendar, all you have to do is go to the date that you want, click on it. It becomes a different color. Click on it, fill out the information, hit save, and it appears. The other thing I wanted you to see with calendar is there are some items that are green. The items that are green are conference events. So this helps you as you build your calendar to know what the conference calendar is. And all you have to do is look right here, and you'll see a lot of different things throughout the calendar. Here's the Labor Day office closed, World Pathfinder Day. Some of you prefer a list rather than a monthly grid of a calendar. So just scroll down and you'll see a whole list of what you have entered. So you can double check, verify, make sure everything's accurate, and just go through and check your list. So that's how you use the calendar. And entering all of these dates gets you points. You can even print the calendar. There are lots of other options you can do. But this is one way for you to get points. The October 1 deadline is all about getting calendar information entered. So this is you putting all the information in the calendar so that you're ready to go and have everything done. This is the October 1 Club of the Year points. Anyone have questions just on the calendar side of this? Richard?
So the deadline is for October 1st. Now, is that for from August to October calendar, or is that for the calendar for the whole year?
Good question. The deadline is to get items in for at least through January. But we recommend, if you're ready, that you would do it for the whole calendar year.
The reason why I asked because right now we're in the process of getting a new pastor, and so the pastor that we have now, he's a new young guy. We're now allowed to go to our calendar month ahead at a time. You know what I mean? So right now we have to do it at a monthly basis.
Got
So it's
you.
hard. It's hard for me to put in order into December or January if I have to wait for the new pastor to come in November. Would
Sure.
that affect us?
Yes, it would. So here's what I'm going to suggest. You have your calendar, right, for your club.
Yes.
You've already created it. I
Yes.
understand your church is asking you to not do it where you're putting more than a month. So in terms of what you report to your church, you don't. In terms of what you put as a placeholder in YMMS, I would say go ahead and add it. And you can even put, like, one thing I do when I do an event in my calendar, I'm going to open up, I guess I stopped sharing the screen, but I put the date and the event and I put a question mark by it as a reminder to me. I've not confirmed this with the leader yet. They've invited me and it's a placeholder. So I'm not saying go against your pastor, but I'm saying I think you can put that in YMMS with a question mark as a placeholder and say, until it's confirmed by the church, this isn't official, but we think it will be on this date. And then you're not going to miss out or miss points for being with your calendar in YMMS. How does that sound to you?
That sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And then update it every month. That's going to be a little more work for you, but I think that's one way to do it, to still meet the requirement and still honor what you're being asked to do. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Anyone else have a question about the calendar side? This is all of the deadlines. The big deadline, October 1, is to get calendar information. Now, just so you know, this is worth 310 points. So this is big points. If you're a Pathfinder, it's 340 if you're an adventure. And just to review with you, I want to share that with you real quick so we're all on the same page with that. Let me come to this document. I'm going to share this screen with you, and let me make this bigger. so you don't squint and have to not see it. Okay, so this is another shared screen, and this is what I'd like to go over with you. This is in your manual, and this is the breakdown of all the points. Your first deadline, August 15, already passed. Most of you have already requested an account or reactivated it. And this one now at the top of the screen is the October 1 deadline. And this is where you have to enter all this information into the calendar. Each event that appears by the end of the day on October 1 will get points. Inductions, 20 points, just for being in the calendar. Investitures, 20 points, just for being in the calendar. Those things, as long as you put the date, you select the right item in YMMS, you're going to get those points. These meetings also need to be selected within the drop down, and this is worth points and bonus points. So make sure you go through those details and get that. And then special visit from the coordinator. This is another big one that you can set up. Just to be clear, this isn't a regular, like this isn't the coordinator just stopped by one day and now I count that. This is where I schedule a meeting. I ask them to come. I'm looking for their support for something specific. I want them to meet with my staff. I want them to come do a devotional before our club meeting and then have a meeting with our staff afterwards. That's where you schedule a special visit. Your Club of the Year points also need a share your faith. One has to be local. The second one can be local, national, or international. But this isn't any longer bonus. This is actually a requirement. So there are 2 share your faith activities. And you'll notice that this is just putting it in the calendar. So all of the things we're talking about so far is putting items in the calendar. Pathfinder Sabbath, club meetings. And you'll notice for club meetings, you get 10 points for each club meeting, and you get a maximum of 150 points. That doesn't mean you only have to do 15 club meetings. It just means that that's the minimum, and that's the biggest amount of points we'll give you. If you get 15 club meetings in your calendar, then you will get those full points. For adventures, you've got some Adventure Sabbath things similar to a Pathfinder Sabbath. A unique thing is the Family Network meeting. And this is 2 different meetings. So if this is in your calendar, there are 2 separate Family Network meetings scheduled. You'll get 30 points for each. For adventures, you have a maximum of 120 points. So those are some things that way. This is all later stuff, but I want to come to this. This is the other thing. Any questions just about calendar at this point? Any questions just on the calendar? All points for the calendar.
Just the risk management meetings, where do we see those? How do we know when those are happening?
Yeah,
Sorry.
those are scheduled by you. You schedule those, and these are different things. Like I do a fire drill, I have a safety inspection.
Oh,
I do different things, but I put those in the calendar and I get points. And then if I submit the report, I'll get additional points.
okay. I didn't know we had to do the, okay.
So this is just us saying, we're going to give you points for doing the things that will help your club be the best club that it can be. God forbid there's ever a fire where you do your Pathfinder Adventure meeting. Do the kids know where to go? Do they know what the meeting spot is? Do they know where, are they looking for a partner? Do you have a record of every kid? So when you get to the meeting spot, you say, okay, we're missing one kid, but that kid didn't even come to the club meeting and nobody has a record of who's there or who's not there. And some adult runs back in to look for a kid that never even came to the club meeting. Like it's building that system so you guys know if there is an emergency, what do we do? Who's responsible for what? Where do the kids go? How do we check that and verify that? That's part of that quarterly risk management meetings.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, great question. Thank you. So that is part of the schedule, but those are your big things that need to be done for the meeting. For the deadline of October 1. It's all calendar based. It's all entering that data. And then when you do it, you've met that requirement. You're going to get up to 300 points as we calculate that just by getting those things in by that date. That's
Pastor
the
Pedro.
calendar side. Good
Pastor,
evening.
buenas noches.
Buenas.
Me alegro verlo. Me alegro
Gracias,
que esté mucho
igual.
mejor.
Yo también.
Pastor, una pregunta. Yo lleno el calendario en español. ¿Hay algún problema con eso? Porque yo no hablo inglés y mi secretaria no está en este momento. Está viajando.
So the question is, if I fill out the calendar in Spanish, is that a problem? The answer is no, that's not a problem. Y hermana, de hecho, usted puede usar YMMS en español. Entonces, todas las cosas van a aparecer en español. Puede llenar todo, puede hacer la registración, puede hacer todo en español.
Ah, y lo tengo en inglés. Ok, gracias por decirme. Otra pregunta, Pastor Pedro. Por ejemplo, a veces ponemos las fechas, las reuniones, por ejemplo, en el Fire Drill, en Fire, en lo de Safety Risk, le ponemos una fecha, pero a veces las personas que invitamos no nos llegan en esa fecha. Tenemos que cambiar la fecha. ¿Hay algún problema cuando uno cambia una fecha que ya ha puesto en el calendario?
That's great. So let me just make one comment for everybody. You can use YMMS in Spanish or English. When you go to sign in, you can choose the language, just to make sure everybody knows that. And then the system appears in the language you choose. The question that Elizabeth's asking right now is, so we've got our calendar, we put it all in, and then there's a date change. Something happens. We have to do it later or earlier. What do we do? Well, you'd go back in and you would edit it to say, here's the new date, and you would just change it. You'll still get credit for it, but here's why that's important. If we are in Miami or if we are in North Florida and we see that you have this calendar event, you're doing your fire drill tonight, and I think, man, I'd love to go see a Pathfinder club do a fire drill, and I drive across town to get there to do the fire drill, and you canceled it, or you canceled the club meeting, I just drove an hour across town for no reason, right? So it's important to update your calendar so that our OAV team and our leaders can help know, you can help them know what's going on. La pregunta era si cambio la fecha, ¿qué debo de hacer? Y yo recomiendo que sí, cambias la fecha. Entra otra vez al sistema de YMMS, cambia la fecha, porque nuestro equipo, si está en el área y busca por YMMS y dice, yo puedo asistir tal cosa en tal fecha, en tal lugar, a tal hora, ellos pueden viajar para allá para apoyarlos, y si está mala la información, van a llegar en vano, va a ser un viaje perdido, y eso es algo que es valioso para nosotros. Así que favor de cambiar las cosas. Por lo menos ponga la fecha más probable que ustedes tienen. Si tienen que cambiarlo después, por favor, pon al día su calendario en el YMMS para que siempre está correcto, ¿ok?
Otra pregunta, Pastor, y perdone. El año pasado, ustedes nos pusieron como deadline, o sea, que se terminaba en tal fecha, por ejemplo, el Risk Management, el de Fire, pero esta vez yo no lo he visto en el Club del Año, o sea, no lo he visto exactamente con una fecha, entonces digo, oh, wow, ¿hasta cuándo tengo chance de colocarlo? De llamar al equipo de los bomberos y todo eso para que me den el curso a los chicos.
Entiendo. Volvamos a una pantalla compartida. So I'm going to go back to a shared screen real quick. The question is, what's the deadline for some of these quarterly risk management things? If you look here by where the cursor is, it says that you should do one meeting per quarter. So you can do whatever you want. From July to September, you should do one. October to December, a second one. January to March, the third one. And that's something that we recommend, just so that you don't end up doing 3 in the last month. It doesn't make much sense to do a fire drill in May on your last club meeting, right? Like, eso no va a ayudar mucho al club si esperas hasta el final para hacer la práctica si hay un fuego. Así que cada trimestre planea y ponga una fecha ahí en el calendario.
Ok, gracias.
Okay. So each quarter, you should be looking for one of those things in your calendar. All right. Very good. That's calendar. That's the big October 1 deadline. Any other questions just on calendar? And if not, then I'll go to the other thing, which is new this year that I'm pretty excited about. Where?
I have a question, Pastor Pedro. How are you?
I am well. Thank you, earlier.
So I wanted to ask, because we for the Pathfinder day, not day, but World Pathfinder Day, we did so many things on one class. So that happened to me last year, because we did so many things and we just put it on one, but I didn't get credit for it because it was just only they counted for only one thing. So
Yeah.
how did I manage? Because we did inductions, we did a revival, we did all kinds of stuff. So I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to do. Do I put it?
Great question. So here's where I would say you have to click on this multiple times and add multiple things. If you notice here in their calendar on the 16th, there's a club meeting, there's a fire drill, and there's a club inspection.
Okay.
Because when they put those events in, this is what they did. Each one was entered separately, and they chose from the drop-down menu which item it was. That's what we check to give you points. So if you just put one date and you put Pathfinder Sabbath, but you didn't go back and do this one and that one as separate ones like they did here with the 3 separate items, then you're right. We don't see that there were 3 separate items. We just see one thing and we give you credit for one thing.
Okay, understand.
Yeah, that's a great question. So make sure you add multiple events if you're doing multiple things for the same date.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and Leah, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for coming on. You see in the chat, there's a question that says, where can we see points? And I think we're still working on a reset, aren't we? Would you be able to address that? You're muted, I think. So Leah's going to
Yes.
walk us through where points are.
We're still working on it. So for the first maybe couple of weeks, maybe next week or a week after that, you will be able to see on the right side at the ranking. When you see on the left side the ranking tab, you may be able to see the points, but as of right now, we're still trying to reset 23-24. Okay, so it's Evelyn here. Okay, there you go.
So this is the ranking tab, and right now, that's where Leah says. So you come to your home screen, and from your home screen, you can go in here to ranking, and you can look at your online report. And this is where you'll start to see some of your points. And this is where we're going to, you can see this is still 22-23. So we're in the process of resetting the system to reset this to 23-24. And that's where those points will exist. And give us another week or two to get that done. What was that question? Okay, very good. So if there aren't any other questions on that side, I'm going to jump into this other thing and see if we have any questions there, because we want you to get all the points that we can give you. So we're going to try to help you get as many points as possible. Let me go back to a screen share. This is back to the Club of the Year document. And we'll scroll down. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy, but I want to get to this part. So this is worth 100 points. And this is your... you'll see that this deadline is October 2. This opened on the 15th, and if you did it as an early bird, you got done by the 25th, you got 30 bonus points. Did anybody get 30 bonus points? I don't know. I didn't see anybody. Sorry, I'm on the shared screen.
Pastor Pedro, I have a question regarding that.
Yes.
I have some staff that because I registered today, last night I registered all my club and the staff that they are clear in the background check, but
Yeah.
I still have some of them that they didn't appear on the background check clear. So no, yeah, because they are new this week, so they need to take the course. So what I need to do with those staff?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I've got a recommendation for you. Let me come back to that, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, so I will come back to that. So the goal of this YMMS Practice Event Registration is just to help you do a registration that doesn't have the pressure of, oh, they're going to miss the event if I don't register them. All the pressure is that you don't get 100 points or you don't get the 100 and the 30 points. But the idea is that you would update your club membership or your roster. So you would go in to YMMS, you would add every kid that's going to be a part of your club, every child, you'd add every adult. And this is where the adults have to be background checked. So this is going to help you. If you meet this deadline of October 2, the deadline's down here again, October 2. If you meet this deadline for the rest of the year, most of your club will be ready to register for any event. Somebody's Sterling might expire, you might add a new staff or a new kid, but for the most part, by October 2, your roster, your club list should be set. For adults to have their Adventist screening verification or Sterling volunteer approved, this is something that's a big deal, and that does take time. And that's something that we'll come back to in a moment. But this is a free practice event, and 100% of your club must be registered. So this means all staff, all parents, all kids, all siblings, whoever is going to be coming to any event that you do that you want to attend that the conference does, you need to have them registered. Part of the little thing that I'm going to share that I said I'd come back to, and this is for Wilmarie. This is the part that says activate and inactivate members accordingly. Are you familiar with how to do that, Wilmarie?
Yes, I registered last night the active members, but the inactive I didn't because they didn't allow me. So,
Correct.
but it's just 3 staff. One of them is my daughter because she's already have 18. She already done with the background check, and she's eligible, but she didn't clear yet.
Okay, so if she exists on the inactive side, then she won't count against your 100% membership.
Oh, okay, because I register all that is active, all my club, all the member that and adult that is active, but not the inactive ones.
Yeah, could
So
we look at your account real quick?
What's the name?
I'm from Wildali, Santiago.
I think we were checking it today.
If I give you a share screen, Leah, could you share, or do I need to do it?
Yeah, you can share it because I'm trying to download something.
And the name of my daughter is Gabriela.
Yeah, so let me
yeah, I
see.
think we were working on it today.
Okay,
Right?
perfect. But it's 100% for us, the early bird, Pastor Pedro, because I do all the active members and staff.
Okay, so let me, is the account under you?
Yes, it's under me.
Okay, and you're Wilmarie or not?
I'm Wildali. That's my daughter. on the Zoom thing is my daughter name, but my name is
Okay.
Wildali.
Is it Marian Oaks?
Yes, Marion was Spanish.
Okay, so what I'm going to try to do is get in and show you, because I think this will be good for everybody.
Okay.
And this is Pathfinders, yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me try to get in here, and if it works, I know we've got the experts here with Leah and Eric, but if I can make it work, then we'll be able to see this, and then we can all learn something together. Okay, so let me come here. I'm going to a shared screen. So this is the account for Wildali Santiago. Does this look familiar, Wildali?
Yes.
Okay, so now I'm going to click on events. Nope, I'm not going to click on events.
Go to manage.
Oh, I'm under her account though.
Yes, so you see under register manage, go there.
Oh, got you.
And you're gonna see all the members, and you're gonna type on the right corner Gabriela so we can see her name. And her last name would be?
Santiago.
Santiago. Sanchez?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't, oh, there it is. I was covering the search bar. So say the name again, please.
Gabriela?
1 L. Gabriela E.
Okay,
Santiago.
so that's her. So
Yes.
the problem right now that I see is in Sterling, she did the background check on August 16, 2023, correct?
Yes.
And in Sterling, her name is Gabriela Santiago Sanchez.
Oh, okay.
In YMMS, her name is Gabriela E. Santiago, which is not matching at, you know, it's
Okay,
matching
yeah,
some,
because she used the full name and that appear in her social security. So I need to put her full name.
so you would
also.
go to change. You see on the right corner, there's a change. Yes.
Yes.
You're gonna click on it. You can click on it. And
Okay.
you're gonna add, instead of E, you're gonna add Sanchez.
Sanchez. Okay. So I need to delete the E.
You need to
That's-
delete the E, and you can add Sanchez. And for verification day, you see the moment the person turns 18, it has this box that says verification date. It's empty. You see that?
Yes, yeah, I see.
That's
I
where
saw
you're gonna put 08/16/2023. After you
Okay,
change her name and after you do the date, you see the role. She's 18, but it says siblings 10 to 17, which does not match
Yeah.
her age.
Okay. So on the verification day, what day I need to put it in the box?
You need to put 08/16/2023. Then you need to change her name, and then you need to change her role. And then you're gonna go all the way down and save it. And after
Okay.
you save it, only then I can see it on my end, and I can release her, and you'll be able to register her or whatever you need to do. You see?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
All
so
right,
much
perfect.
fun. That was
Yes.
awesome.
Thank
So
you, Leah.
hopefully that helps other people too, right? Because if the role is wrong, if the spelling is wrong, if the verification date from Sterling is wrong, and this you get from Sterling, like you log into your Sterling account, you put in the date that they say there, and then you save it at the end. If you don't do all of that, then you're going to have a problem. It's not going to be cleared. And that's something that we see over and over again. And even so much if you have a dash between names, the goal is that your driver's license, your Sterling, your YMMS all has the exact same spelling of your name and the same birth date, and that will help you to not have problems. Okay? So Leah, if we want to check on who she has registered, I'm going to go back to events, back to manage. And here we find YMMS Practice Registration. So I want everyone to see this. If you come over here, is it under participants, Leah?
Yes, yes.
So I'm going to click on participants for the practice event. And then I see everybody that is registered. And the percentage, where's the percentage? Why don't I see that?
It's, you see on the bottom, it says 1 to 18 out of 18. So when you
Yeah.
go to members, when you go to manage members, if you see 18 members, that means that she did the whole club. If
Okay.
she, I'll tell you right now. So the whole club is 21. So there's 3 people that are missing from the registration.
Correct. And she said those people were inactivated.
Yeah, you see the total
Yeah,
of 21.
they're inactive. Yeah, they're inactivated. One of them is my daughter that she's 18 already,
Yep.
and the other one she was the
Okay, very good. So part of the goal for you to finish this event registration is you come to events, you click on register, and then you would find the event. For this case, it's the YMMS practice. They're already registered, but this is where you would go to register for the event, and you're going to sign up everybody in your roster. If you have 18 people in your club and you register 18 people, you registered 100% of your club, children and staff, and you will get the points. If you did it by yesterday or by the end, is it today? then you'll get the bonus points even. But
And
that's what so the bonus points ended at 1 p.m. But we did want to hit the October 1 deadline for calendar, entering all that, and also review this with you to make sure that you see how to do this. Any questions on this part of the registration? This is the YMMS Practice Event Registration.
Pastor, una pregunta,
Okay.
porque yo también lo hice ayer, pero no estaba segura, o sea que todo el club tenía que meterlo yo a participar en el YMMS Practice Event Registration 1. O sea, porque yo me inscribí yo sola, porque como directora, porque ahí en lo que me pasaron a mí me decía que solamente la directora y la secretaria tenían que inscribirse para introducir a todos los miembros del club. Pero mi secretaria no está de vacaciones.
Pastor, I'm on the
So there
same, I'm on
there are
the,
several details to keep in mind. This is the practice event registration, and this is 100% of the club must be registered. So this is the deadline for this event. What you're referring to was the very first thing on the Club of the Year points, and that is August 15. And this is only the secretary and the director. You're the only two that do this first part.
Okay.
so Pastor, on my side, I just went ahead and I thought it was, as it's called, a test. And I thought it was just pull a few people in to see how it works, to see if you get the hang of it.
Yeah,
And
it's
I thought I was done.
100%.
So now the
Yeah.
deadline's over. So what does this mean for the 4, 5, 6 people that I
Yeah. So
tomorrow.
the good news is that the deadline's not until October 2. You can
Okay.
still do what you're supposed to do and you'll still get 100 points. That's all it was worth. But the bonus points is what you'll miss.
Okay.
But
So
you'll still, if you do it by October 2, you'll still get full points. This is both for Elizabeth and for you. If you finish it by October 2, get everybody 100%. All of your club must be registered. Then you'll get the full points. You didn't lose anything. You just didn't get the bonus.
Pastor, repítamelo en español y,
Okay.
o sea, yo tengo, cuando yo pongo aquí, por ejemplo, yo estoy en el YMS, yo pongo en donde están los muñequitos para registrar. La única que está registrada soy yo. Tengo que registrar a los otros miembros del club también en esa
Correcto.
parte.
Correcto.
Ahora sí, necesito
y,
ayuda porque no sé cómo hacerlo.
Y la fecha es para el 2 de octubre.
Ok, pero aquí me dice que las inscripciones están cerradas en el nowjude.com 6.
Ok. Elizabeth, espera tantito. Voy a ver si hay otras preguntas y si no hay, quisiera que se quede en la línea y todos los que quisieran, nosotros podemos abrir su cuenta, mostrarle y los que quieren observar y ver y también aprender pueden aprovecharse. So we're going to go through another sample if you want to of how to do the registration, of how to make sure you get everything done. And we're going to do it with Elizabeth. She just agreed to do that. But is there anyone else who has a question about the calendar or about this special practice registration before we jump in to look at Elizabeth?
Pastor Pedro, another quick question. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No problem.
When you say the early bird registration, the 100% of the club, is the 100% the active one or include the inactive one?
It should be 100% of the active ones. We'll give you permission to have your inactive ones out. Is that?
Okay.
Wait,
All right.
Leah,
Yeah,
what did you just say? Hang on, Leah just said something. Leah, is there something different that I misunderstood?
No. There, I just sent the link to the document. And there is a question: what if the parent don't complete their background check in time for deadline? So if
And
it's
what's
for
the answer?
adventures, we have they can still register. But if it's for Pathfinder, they will miss it. But is Annette talking about YMMS event or any some other event?
No. It's just talking about for the early bird registration, because I'm registered all my active staff and Pathfinder, but I didn't register the 3 inactive ones. It is count like a 100% registration or not?
Because you have 18 out of 18, that's 100%.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay. And so here's the thing. We understand that it takes time to get parents to do background checks and to get them into YMMS. And that's why we're doing this in September, the deadline October 2, because we know that if your parents, your staff, your children can all get in YMMS, then throughout the year, you don't have to stress about that. You know an event's coming, you go to your roster, you see who's there, you click, 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 everything works, and you're done. They're all registered. The reason we're asking you to do this, the why, is because we believe that if we can get you ready in October, you'll have a better year. So please continue to work with all your parents. If you had to inactivate somebody because they weren't done and you wanted to complete the requirement, we understand that, and that's okay. But as soon as you can, move them out of inactive back into active and make sure all their information is right. And also what you noticed is that there are a lot of people who have problems with YMMS, and the part of it is because the spelling's not right. It's a different spelling from driver's license, Sterling, and YMMS. When those don't match, it's not going to get cleared. We don't even see that there's a problem until we just see checking, but you got to tell us, hey, we got a problem here. We'll go through it with you, help you fix the problem, and then it'll make sense. Yeah? So I have Elizabeth's account pulled up. If you want to, if there's another question, we'll do it. Otherwise, we'll go into her account and we'll help her kind of walk through, see what the challenges are. And maybe that's something you faced or something that you're going through and you learn from it, or you get a tip, or if you are done, then that's it too. We can do that. Okay. There's a
Pastor, I do I actually have like 2 questions. First question is when we added the Pathfinder in the system, it doesn't show by the classes anymore. It just shows them as Pathfinder.
And adventures are the same way. They change it. So up to Navigator, Pioneer.
Yes, Pioneer and Navigator, yes. Those are the only 2 that you can change.
Pathfinder for an adventure, the same thing. I think it's NAD. Pedro, do you know who changed that? Or
So when the system went from Florida to NAD, some things changed, and to simplify it, and because not all of NAD has the same Pathfinder class levels that Florida does, they split it into the basics of Pathfinders or Adventures or Sibling. So yeah, that distinction is gone. We've talked to them about, will that be able to come back? But for now, that's gone.
Okay, thank you. So my second question is, I redid my background check, job protection course back in 2 days ago. Do you know how long it takes for that to clear up with the YMS system?
depends.
Yeah, they say it's 3 to 5 business days. We've seen it process in as little as 15 minutes. We've also seen it take more than 15 days. So it's not something that's precise. I would say give it 3 to 5 business days and see what happens.
Richard, where did you do that? What day did you run it?
Mine, I don't remember. I think it was the 23rd or the 22nd.
Yeah, because you already cleared. As September 23, 2023, you cleared.
Okay, yeah, because they said when I was looking at mine showed up as checking.
No, so let me go to YMMS and fix it, but your day will be 09/23/2023.
Okay, now it says approved. Okay, now it does say approved. Okay.
Okay, good. Man, it was faster than you thought. That was like almost the same day, huh?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, very good. I see there's a question in the chat of how to activate and inactivate members and reactivate them. We can go through that. Okay. Was there another question before I go through that?
I do have another question, and it's about the points. because
Yeah.
I went into the YMMS ranking and there's a few other categories there, and I don't know if we need to worry about that. Unit reports, class cards, medical forms. Do we need to enter anything on that? Honors, how many honors we do? Treasury report. I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah, you saw lots of stuff that caught your attention, didn't it?
Yeah, so we can ignore it or
Correct. You can ignore
Okay.
that.
Okay, thank you. Woo.
Yeah. Yeah. Just go by the sheet that has Club of the Year requirements.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, very good.
There's a link, Pedro, I sent that has steps how to deactivate and reactivate in the chat. You can click
Oh.
on it, or you can use somebody else's account if you want.
Oh, got you. Yeah, let's do that. Let me go to that shared screen. Thank you, Leah. Okay, let me come to a shared screen. I'll share this with you, and then we'll go into a live example from there. Sorry, hang on one second. Okay. I have to find the right tab on the other side. Okay, so this is how to activate or deactivate. This was a question from the chat. This is the link that Leah put in the chat of the Zoom meeting tonight, and it has steps for several things that you need to do in YMMS. So these are tutorials built to help you have a less stressful time working with the YMMS. So you'll log into your system. There's a shortcut under members and it's manage. When you get to members manage, you'll come into here, you'll look at the top left corner to filter what you want, and you can put all roles, and then you'll hit filter at the bottom, and then all active members will be in black text. To inactivate, click on the red X. All inactive members will be in red text. To reactivate, click on the blue check mark. So this is how you do it in YMMS, and I'll go to a real example here in a second, but I wanted you to see the tutorial first. Each time a member is inactivated or reactivated, the member list will refresh to show only active members. If you wish to reactivate multiple members, you'll need to start again at step 3 above and change their status one by one. So that's another way for you to do that. But this tutorial, again, is on the link that is in the chat room of the Zoom meeting, and that's where you can find it there. Does that help with the activate, inactivate? Yes.
We need to
good.
go to somebody's profile so you can see.
Yeah, let's do that. I want to go. So let me get back out of there. Okay. Elizabeth, are you still with us?
She's just muted.
Okay. Because we're
Sí,
ready
pastor,
to,
aquí estoy.
okay, we're ready to help you and to get you an example here. So, okay. Can you see the screen? Does this look familiar?
Ya,
¿Se ve familiar, Elizabeth?
sí, pastor.
Hey, tenemos que agregarle una foto de usted. We have to add a picture for you. Come on. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to go to events. This is in Spanish, and this is the manage. So we're going to come in here, and we're going to look for the YMMS practice event. Justo como nos dijiste, hay una sola persona registrada. So just like she told us, there is one person registered. So how can you confirm that? Here's the numbers. It says one ticket's been paid, and here it is, participants, and there she is, Elizabeth, right?
Yeah.
So she has successfully registered herself, which is great. And to complete the registration, she's going to have to go back to the events, back to the vuelve a eventos, a inscripción, back to register. And when she gets here, she's going to click here.
YMMS Practice again. Okay, ahí estoy.
Yeah. Leah, if she clicks on participants, can she add people?
Yes, you see that green plus sign.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. aquí arriba en la esquina dice inscribir. Va a
Okay.
apretar ahí. And what does that say? I can't see it.
It's supposed to say register.
Sí, lo que
Oh.
me, cuando yo abro eso me dice,
Oh,
Está cerrada.
it's closed porque ya venció. It's closed and so it's done. So you can't go into there anymore.
Yeah, but
Tomorrow,
usually,
mañana abrirá otro evento.
ok,
Y el otro evento va a ser la inscripción normal, no la early bird para los puntos de bonus, pero
ok.
el normal que todavía puede recibir los 100 puntos. So just to make sure everybody knows what just happened, we went to register for the practice event, but the practice event was was closed today at 1. So this
Ya.
event closed at 1. It's no longer available to register. Tomorrow, the other event that says YMMS Practice Event Registration 1, but without the early bird, that one will open and you'll click on participants, you'll click on register, and then you'll be able to register everyone. For that one, Elizabeth, make sure you register yourself and everybody else.
Ok, o una pregunta relacionada a eso, pastor.
Yeah.
Tengo una persona, yo le mandé un email y usted ya me respondió. Tengo que ponerlo en junta, no sé si recuerda.
Sí, sí.
Ok,
Del
entonces,
staff.
el staff, sí. Entonces, ¿cómo hago con ellos? No los voy a poder registrar entonces.
Tiene hasta el 2 de octubre para que aparezcan aquí y para que completan su background check.
Ok, ahorita yo tengo personas pendientes porque están saliendo, no sé si Lía los puede ver, están saliendo de aventureros, están pasando a Pathfinder, pero ya los pasé a conquistadores, pero el background check de ellos estaba aclarado en aventureros, pero me sale chequeando todavía en conquistadores. Los padres de los nuevos niños que inscribí, que están pasando los últimos 3 padres, el Osvaldo, Fanny, Brenda, todavía me salen chequeando.
¿Cuál es su apellido?
Osvaldo
Aquí,
Román,
aquí está.
me salen todavía chequeando.
Sí, chequeando. Si él estaba aprobado en el lado de los aventureros,
Sí,
debe de estar aprobado aquí. No sé por qué. Leah, the question is, this is a staff member who was working with Adventures, was transferred over to now work with Pathfinders, and they were cleared before, but it still says checking here.
what, can you go on the change and see what day it says?
This one?
Yeah. Is it Osvaldo? Is it Roman?
Yes.
Okay. The problem with this is the day for verification says September 24, 2022, but he actually did it on February 8, 2023. The day is not matching the actual approval.
ok.
¿Entendió, Elizabeth?
¿Febrero
Gracias.
cuánto? La verificación es febrero cuánto.
Leah, what's the date in February?
02/08/23.
02/08/23.
And the moment they change it there and submit it, I will be able to see it on my end and release it.
Okay.
Pero tengo la otra, ya lo cambié, febrero 8, 2023. Entonces, pero también tengo los otros 2 últimos padres que escribí.
Esto.
Sí.
Pastor, if I
Yep.
may add something here, I don't know if you understand, English. I don't know Spanish, and I cannot say it. But for any of the club director or secretary, they're trying to add in the staff, and they're not too sure about the date. They can always contact their level 2 administrator to get the
Correct.
specific date. That's what I do with
Correct.
my level 2 administrator. I contact him, and he gives me those dates specifically.
Excellent.
Because sometimes the date that they completed that day online might be different from when they verify it through the trailing verification.
You're right. Thank you, Richard, for that. Elizabeth, y para los que hablan español, hay una sugerencia que habla con su iglesia para ver quién es la persona que tiene acceso como nivel 2 administrador de Sterling, porque ellos te pueden dar la fecha exacta que tienen el reporte de Sterling, que da fecha para cada persona cuando fueron aprobados. En Sterling tienen varias fechas. Una es cuando cumplieron el entrenamiento. Otra fecha es cuando sometieron el background check. Y la otra es cuando fue aprobado. Y esa fecha de ser aprobado es la fecha que necesitamos en el YMMS. So that's true. There are several dates from Sterling, and you want to make sure that the date that you're grabbing is the date that Sterling clears you. And then that's the date that you put in YMMS, and that's the date that will help get you through the process.
Sí, pastor, lo que pasa es que la persona encargada de la administración está de viaje, está en Europa y no viene la otra semana. Entonces, como yo quería hacer esto con Early, entonces imagínate, yo me la pasé hasta las 12 de la noche ahí tratando,
Caramba.
pero me equivoqué porque solamente me inscribí yo. Entonces,
Sí.
¿no?
Entiendo. Una pregunta, Leah. Do you have access to Sterling to level 2 from North Miami Spanish Church?
Let me check. And can you click on Fanny? No.
Yep. Because si Leah puede acceder a ese documento, le puede ayudar, le puedo mandar el documento y de ahí saca la fecha de las personas aprobadas en Sterling.
Ay, le voy a agradecer, pastor, de verdad, porque ella no regresa todavía.
Sí, vamos a ver si ella puede accesarlo.
Ok, pastor, muchas gracias.
Aquí estamos mirando, so we're looking at another member from this club, and it's still the membership list, right? And this is another person who has a date, but we're going to check to make sure the date matches, the spelling matches, and that the role matches.
This person is actually good. So they have a right date. So you can cancel out of there, go down and cancel out and refresh the screen. And now it's supposed to say that Fanny, if you yeah, and the go to Gestiona, whatever it is, members.
Yeah.
Manage, and then go down wherever Fanny is, or you can type. You see how it says, I just approved it?
Yes.
Elizabeth, that was easy.
Because the date was correct.
Así que now there's one of her staff that's cleared, approved. So this has been changed because we looked at it, verified it, and we've got it all cleared for you. But we're still working with Osvaldo because there's still stuff that you need to change.
Pastor Pedro, I have a question for Leah.
Yeah.
Leah,
Yeah.
what is the easy way for you when we receive the date and we put the date and the verification, and do you want that we email you with the name of the person so you can clear them?
So sometimes, usually every morning and every afternoon, I have a button that I press and system clear the people automatically. But sometimes it stops for some reason. Something is not matching or system doesn't want to let the person through. Because today I pressed it, right? But this person, Fanny, it did not clear, but the date was correct. So yes, if it's not clearing automatically, you can send me an email and I can check. Or as Pedro said, you always have a this second, I don't know if I talked to you about second level administrator. Do you have that person in your church, in your club?
Yeah, we have that person, but she told me that she didn't appear clear, those members. And they have in their account, they have like they eligible, but they didn't appear in her page, that when she opened the list, they didn't appear. I don't know why.
In that case, yes, you will send me an email. If the system doesn't clear it automatically, then I will have to look at it.
Okay.
Yeah,
because
if you don't have a level 2 administrator, you can ask the person to log into their Sterling account and see what the status is. So they can tell you, whether it's cleared or not. So if you see that it's not cleared in YMMS, you can ask them to double check in Sterling if it's cleared in Sterling. And if it's not, then the problem is still on getting it cleared through Sterling.
Most of
If
the
it's
time,
cleared in
nobody
Sterling-
remembered the password.
Yeah.
90%.
Okay.
Okay. Elizabeth, does that help you some? Did we lose you? You're still here. Okay. So that was a good
pero
example of
perdón.
another
You
way
still
to do
did
this.
not show the inactive. If you go to
Oh.
the profile for them to see the profile that you used, if you go to up top, I don't know what it
Oh,
says in
Here's this is the active and inactive. You see, this is in Spanish, but inactivar, that's inactive. And if I click on this, it means, do I want them to be inactive or not? And this is the back button. Solo está cambio active. Okay. So I don't know what that just did, but it froze on me.
yeah, get get out of there. Okay, so but I'm trying to find the profile so I can see it in English. So sometimes people don't know that previous director already had a member and then they deactivate the member and then they're trying to make another profile. So in this case, you see that on the top manage, I'm just trying to do it in English. You see all it's todos.
Yeah, todos.
Okay,
Yes.
you just had it. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I'll come
All?
back to it.
Go there, and
Yeah,
then
all.
you see filter data on the right, this little circle on the right. Click on that. Click on it.
Yep.
All of these members that are in red, for some reason, were deactivated. Like you see, you already had a profile here. And then I guess somebody deactivated it. You deactivated yourself and you created a new one. There's Pedro here. These people are deactivated. Maybe they left the church or maybe temporary, they're not there. So if somebody tells you, oh, well, I was a member at one point, I need to be deactivated. And it gives me or you a message that this user already exists. All you have to do on the right side, there is a check mark, blue check mark. You have to click on it and then you will activate the person again. Because sometimes we have 3, 4, 5 profiles all the same person, director changing, and they just adding new people.
Yeah. So Elizabeth, I inactivated you and then I reactivated you. But this is where, so you would come into from your home screen, you would come to your manage members or gestionar in Spanish. Once you get there, you will see the far right has a column of inactive. If it's red, that means they're active. But if you click the red X, it will turn to a blue check, and that means that they're inactive. So you don't want to hit this if they are active members, but if you do have inactive people who you want to make inactive, then you go. So for registration for this practice event, Elizabeth, are you still with us?
Sí.
So once you come to this registration, if everybody in here is ready to register, you hit this button which says select everyone, and then you register them. That's it. You're done. If all the adults are cleared, all the kids are entered correctly, you go to the event, you go to the register, you come to the bottom, select all, complete registration, you're done.
Ok. Solamente se registran a los que están activados, ¿verdad, Pastor?
Correcto, pero queremos que todos los que son miembros del club estén registrados.
Ok, Pastor. Está bien.
Ok, so voy a quitar de compartir eso. Bueno, mi gente, did you guys learn something tonight?
Yes.
Yeah, that was fun. We had live examples. That was really good.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot.
Hey, that's good. We can learn from each other. And I'm glad that Leah's here and Eric was here also helping. Thank you for being on. And we're going to do a second one that's going to start at 15 after. So I'm going to start to wrap us up. Is there anything for a quick question before we close? YMMS can be your friend, right? YMMS can help you to manage your club. That's why it's called a management system. So you can keep record of all your adults. You can know with confidence that everybody's background checked. When it comes to register, it's easier. We're trying to get this practice event in so that you can get ready for all events for the rest of the year. Is it Anitha? I see a hand raised.
Yes, hello.
Pastor, adelante.
Um,
Go
I-
ahead.
I sent a message in the chat. I think Leah was answering my question, but I think someone chimed in, so I wasn't sure if my question was answered. It's what if the parents don't complete their background check in time for the deadline? I am an adventurer director.
Yeah. So if I understand it right, for this practice event, that's okay.
Yeah.
For this practice event, the parents for adventurers, please make sure you're hearing me. The parents for adventurers for the practice event do not have to be SV cleared. So
And
let
they
me
have
just,
a separate registration. It says Parents of Adventure. So make sure it has a separate registration that has only parents. So when you click on the participants and then you click register, it will show you only the role of parent, and then you can just click all and register them all because they do not require the verification.
so this
Yes,
is the,
thank you.
this is the information here, and it says adults must have their ASV approved in YMMS. The exception is the parents of adventures. And this is for this first one, the first one. Notice for the second one, parents must be background checked for adventures, okay? So I just wanted you to see that. And let me go back to, if I can real quick.
So that means that I can't, I'm not even allowed to enter the parent into the system because they're not background checked as yet. That's my big
No,
thing.
that's
Okay.
not correct. So here, let me get back in here and show you. Are you with an adventure club? Hello?
Sorry, go again, repeat the question.
What adventure club are you with?
Oh, I'm with Kissimmee SDA.
Okay, so let me do another live example if that's all right.
Sure, that's fine.
Okay, so let's go in here and let's take a look. Okay, so let me come back to share a screen. Okay, so this is you, yes?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so now what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to come to events and manage. Actually, no, I'm going to come to events.
And register.
Yeah, and register. And what Leah said was for Super Fun Day, there is a kids and parent registration. For this registration for parents, there is no SV required. So they don't have to be background checked. For the staff, this is only the staff registration. This isn't for kids. It isn't for parents. This is where you'll register your staff, and that's where the adult staff are required to be background checked. So you will choose the appropriate registration for whoever you're registering for that same event. There are two separate registrations for parents and kids and for staff. Staff require SV, parents and kids, no SV. That's just for Super Fun Day.
Okay.
That help?
Yep. Mine is the main question I'm asking is about the YMMS
Yeah, you see the
registration
last
event.
one, it says Parent Adventure Only,
Right. And
and
when
it
I
looks
click
like
on
you did
that,
register them.
I did. When I click on that though, it's only allowing me to register the 5 adults that I have that is cleared in the system because I can't add any more parent because they're not background. They didn't do the background. So I can't add those in my system.
So Leah, keep record of that and look into that tomorrow because it's
Yeah,
actually
they don't need to be background check. And if you can send me names, for example, because all of the people were able to register without background check. Maybe there is something
Yeah, so
else
those are my
missing.
5 that I was able to. Those are the
Okay,
only 5.
let me see something. Okay, I'll just check on something.
So yeah, we'll let Leah look into that and get back to you. Unfortunately, you guys can log back into the other link, but there's a new meeting that's supposed to start. So I'm going to close this one and start a new one. Thank you for coming into this one. Richard, is there a quick question?
I have a quick question, Pastor. I'm sorry.
How many level 2 administrators are allowed per church?
2.
2?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you,
I
Pastor.
have I'm sorry, I have an answer before we go. If you
Okay.
go to manage for her club, the only 5 people you see, okay, go to home, manage, manage after register. You see the members, yeah, so and then you see that roll, click on that column, click on the roll so it's sorted. Just click on the roll, it will sort. And now go down. You see how many parents of adventure you have? You only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the only people that have that role. That's why there's the only people you were able to register. Everybody else who's over 18, and they're not having a role of a parent of adventure. So they different roles.
So to manage that, you would come back into members and manage.
Yeah.
You would click on the adult. So let's say this is a counselor.
Yeah.
You'd go to change, yes?
Mm-hmm.
You'd go to that little change button on the right, and here where it says counselor, that's where you would change their role. If they are not a counselor and are only a parent, they'd become a parent of adventure. But that's the difference, is what she's saying. That's why you can and can't register people under that parent tab. Are you with us, Anita?
Got it, thank you. So if I'm
Okay.
adding the new parent, it's the SV is required, right? The verification.
Not for the practice event, it is not, and not for Super Fun Day, it is not.
Okay.
But make sure you select the right role, so it will
Yes,
let you register without it.
Yeah,
Okay,
they have
thank
to be
you.
the right role. All right, so
And
go to the other
Pastor,
link. If you want to have more fun with us tonight, come to the other link and we'll meet you there. Thank you, everyone. Let me pray real quick.
oh my.
Our God and our Father, thank you for these leaders. Thank you for them doing the best that they can and us doing the best we can. Together with each other and with you, we pray that we'll get through all this and we'll be able to have a great club year. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amén.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Richard.
Thank you. Have a
Bye,
good night.
Melina. You're welcome.